Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alleycat Creations. How are you? Please share and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, I connect on an epiphany and mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create. Please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. Also, Alleycat Creations 211 is where you could see 211.com is where you could see all the artwork, the pyramids, the gem skulls, and all that. I am going to update it, I swear. Um, and 3D memberships is another way to support this channel. Friday, March 7th, I will be raffling off this beautiful gem skull. For channel members, you get one free entry into the raffle. And those of you who are interested in wanting to win that are not members, it's $5 entry, and you can go to my community tab to find that. Hi, everybody. So I don't know what to title this just yet. I don't know. Obviously, I got eye makeup on, so my eye is clear. Today was the last day of medication. We'll see how it goes. Because obviously, every pair of glasses I have, even readers are great for reading, but that's it. I need an actual prescription. So can't afford it. So gotta wait. Um, I want to thank everybody who chose to stick with me yesterday. I took pictures. They're over there. It's hard to find places to take good pictures of artwork in my house. So I that birdie of Indiana, because it's Indiana State that I did it on. Really fun. I really enjoyed that. Though the reason why I'm doing instead of a reading of a book, I am doing a me talking. A lot of energy hit me yesterday, a lot. And it was really hard for me to convey or to filter through what was going on through me. Like nothing wanted to come through me. It really wanted to inflect inside me. Usually when that stuff does occur, I'm gonna go talk through the process because a lot of people might need to know these things, not in the near future. Um, Sometimes when obviously a lot of you have to start thinking of yourselves as channels because you're channeling information, you're grabbing the field of energy, the qualia, quantum states, ether, whatever you want to significate something outside of yourself. The something outside of yourself is the information that you're entangled to that flows through you. Um, like I said, where do your thoughts come from? Where do your thoughts come from? Sorry, I had to blow my nose and my allergy pill's wearing off. I'm back. I'm here. Yeah, you see, this is the process that is very frustrating. So when entities, myself, my higher self, and all the beautiful components of me that's outside of me, not necessarily outside, but entangled to me, comes down and streams through me, I talk to you guys, I get very hyper, I lose my train of thought, I'm jumping all over the place. That's me channeling. Yesterday, during when I get really creative and I get in the zone, like I don't speak too much, but I was getting a lot of energy in my body yesterday that I couldn't put to words. And now that I had a whole day to like kind of go through what was going on with me, I can best kind of describe yesterday better. Because when I channel, I get different frequencies, and different frequencies come different feelings in your body. So for most people, the significant ones that we are cognizant of because other people have spoken about the ascension symptoms, and most people can ascribe themselves to having any one of those long laundry lists of things. But normally we equate the ear ringing and the tingling and the temperature fluctuations, especially that, as being signs that you're getting a download or an upload. So you're also getting information from the earth. Gaia is conscious, and Gaia is also sending you energy, upstreaming from the light. You're getting downloads. That's just my easy peasy way of explaining it. And many people can argue against it. I'm just putting to you. Yesterday, for myself, I was getting both. And at some point in my brain, I was getting like a crosshair stoppage in flow of trying to put thoughts to words. Um, it sucked. When you're feeling, I yesterday was like super high electric for me inside my body, like too much electricity, and I wasn't grounded properly. Um, and maybe I was grounded properly, but maybe I need another method. So when you're in your thought process and things start feeling stagnate, or you're hitting a brick wall and you can't really, your brain is not functioning properly, that's just a sign for you to take a couple of steps back, to do some breathing and to kind of readjust yourself to the energy. We have to go with the flow of what is being given to us. Sometimes that flow doesn't feel right. And yesterday for me didn't feel right. If you're feeling yourself in that, if you go back and watch yesterday's show, it was only 3 hours. Uh, you can see me kind of like trying to zone out to like regather myself, but there was no regathering. There was none of that. Um, and even now, it's taking me a lot longer to convey everything I was thinking. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a video and it's going to be great. Bullshit. Bullshit. I had yesterday to step back and to reflect and introspect on a lot. Um, but there's a feeling inside of me that I can't put to words. It doesn't want to compute in language out of my mouth. But I felt very, the closest couple of words that I can describe yesterday, besides being off, I felt betrayed. And it's not that word, 'cause it's the closest thing that comes to it. For whatever the reason is, and I don't know in what aspect of my life I feel betrayed in. I just it's a feeling that it's the closest word, but it's not that word specifically. But whatever it is that I'm feeling that I can't convey in words, it's the closest to coming to that. Um, in many ways, I feel supported, but in other aspects of my life, I don't. Um, reflecting on, I was saying yesterday, astronomically, a lot of us, depending where your sign and where your houses are being affected in the astrology, a lot of us are going through monumental changes in life in general. Not just because the outside world is dictating change, it's the inside world that goes with the change first, and then it comes outside that the changes are coming. So, us being the way showers are going through these changes first, but they're hitting us in different facets in our lives. Like I was saying yesterday, for me, it's relationships, not just romantically, it's with everything and everybody. Like my relationship to the world, to myself, the relationship to others, to myself, job to self, all those aspects in your life. And then it's my career. I'm not there yet to be put on my path, but I'm headed onto my path, my soul's path, where my soul wants, not where my ego wants, my soul wants. And I just don't know how it's going to come out. And not that I need to know, but once again, we live in a 3D world where things have to be met, needs need to be met. Um, you got to eat, you got to have lights. No, you don't. You don't. You don't need these things. You don't need these things. We would like these things. I would like these things. I would like a house over, a roof over my head. I would like, my Freya to be happy. The small things, but in order to pursue a path for your soul, your body has to be able to fulfill that purpose. And the right circumstances has to be in that pathway in order for your soul to obtain that path. And that's where my being stuck, feeling stuck is. Um, with all the changes going on within my personality, that's another thing I'm trying to get used to. I don't think I had another walk-in come in. I just think my abilities are enhancing to next level. I know a lot of you are also feeling very similar, like you're seeing things that you can't put to words and you don't know how to describe it. You don't want to be labeled nuts. So how do you go about, like, you got to get it out somehow? How is that going to look? And a lot of us are in this stuck, don't know what to do state, and it's confusing. There are no words for certain things. We haven't developed a language for it just yet. And we're not going to for a while because it's just a bunch of us going through these wicked craziness changes. And what could be done is a better question. I have never felt like this before. Usually in my spiritual progress, if I look back in the last, 40 years, and I'm going to only say 40 because I do recall early childhood things I was seeing, things that developed and materialized in my hands. Um, everybody's starting to see aliens and getting connections with interdimensional beings, uh, whatever beings are contact, we really don't know. Outer space, inner space, next level density, outside of the firmament, who knows? But a lot of us are getting more and more and more and more affected. by these beautiful beings or energies, whatever you want to equate it to. We're getting downloads, uploads, and our bodies are at the point of where the precipice is. You're taking the leap of faith. We don't want our ego to hold us back, but it's trying to keep us safe, especially those of us who went through a lot of ego death. And ego death is a forever process. Like I don't necessarily think until you actually physically move up into 4 or 5 that your ego completely dies and goes with your higher self, because that's your soul walking through your vehicle. Many of our souls are like pure real self, the real self, not this identified personality that's in a body that's my name is Allison. Like that's just this body's name, this sleeve, right? Like my soul is way grander than this, but the personality that's the fragment of my soul that's in this vehicle is like, hi, I'm trying to navigate this and this nightmare. How do I get out of the dream? I think a lot of us are in that crux point of where change is occurring. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what it tastes like, smells like. We don't know where to apply our abilities just yet. Obviously, we're just playing around with them. Um, for many of you, you're seeing things, uh, and it's not scaring you. You have more of a curiosity towards what you're seeing, but you don't know. You're still in the program of is that good and evil? I'm reading a lot of that intensity coming from people. Oh, is that a bad spirit or a good spirit? The spiritual maturity that I've been going through in the last, and I fault at this too. I'm not, a freaking guru. I'm not. I'm not a guru. I don't want to be that to anybody. No. But what's holding a lot of people back is the identification of energy, not seeing things as energy. If you were to break down everything to a molecular level and subatomic level, that's all you are is subatomic particles and molecular structures in material world. That really is a crux of when you put look under the microscope and look at inside you. You got a whole microcosm within your macrocosm within the macrocosm within the macrocosm. It, you got little dust mites and you got little things going on your face right now that are eating your flesh. But you're not aware of it. You don't even feel it. You don't see it. You don't even know it's there until you get a pimple, right? You're not sitting in your brain every day and going, oh, all my T cells are going to my niffles, however you pronounce it, and you're not seeing the mitosis of your cells replicating itself time and time again under your bone marrow. You're not seeing or feeling any of it. You only know you're hungry because your stomach makes a noise and you feel the grumble in your tummy. You only know you're thirsty when you're like, I need a refreshing drink. But the rest of the time, you're coasting in your subconscious mind. You're just coasting every day. You wake up, you go do your functions, and then you're off to doing whatever you do. You're not thinking about how saliva is being collected in your mouth. You're not thinking about the exact processes of everything going on in your body that make it work. You're not. And if you do, that's freaking fantastic. I don't know how your mind catches all of that, right? Because there's a lot of functionings that your body does naturally without your awareness. Your subconscious takes care of it. If we were to just stop and think about all the functions of your entire vehicle and all the cells that interplay within your body and all the chemical alchemizations that happen in your body, you would be in meditation a very long time. It's quite a prepondering thing to know how insane those thoughts are. How does oxygen move through your body? And seeing it in your mind's eye. Spirituality is the unfolding of the unseen to the seen, to the untangible to tangible. And just like your abilities, you have to really think about and dissect the workings of your senses. And I just know things to know them. Well, how does that actually work? How do you actually describe each process of the knowing? It's a kid that you give a test to and they just write all the answers down and it's math, right? So they're doing it in their head. But, stupid state laws like, I need to see you're not cheating. How did you get to this answer? And the kid's just like, well, I just knew it. I did the math in my head. Well, could you show me the math on the paper? And the kid's like, no, I can't do that. I just know it to know it for no other cause. That's a lot of what's going on right now with this change. We're doing a lot of changes within our physical vehicle, but we're also doing it in our mental thinking processes as much as we're doing it in our higher self. And it's all concurrently happening all at once. And there's not seemingly to be a break in these processes. You're getting the downloads as you're getting the uploads, and your body is just like, hey, what the fuck? Too much info, too much info, too much info. And your body's like, your brain, your body can't process all of it. That was me yesterday. I got so much energy yesterday, but some of the feelings that were coming up in me, they couldn't really put to words. There's a lot of energy coming through me that I did not feel comfortable in my skin with at all. And I know I'm not alone in this feeling. That's why I felt compelled instead to do a reading to talk about yesterday. Not just because, oh, he 47 spoke. Like I said, it was a nothing burger. Beautiful speech, beautiful things happen, but I didn't receive anything insight wise that would lead me to believe anything significant is happening. It all happens from within. I'm not wait I stop waiting for people to dictate to me when things are going to happen. God's plan, God only knows. And I got to trust that source has my best interests at heart. That's helping me actually. I had a very I just got another blow at work today. My teacher was not in. I got in early. I set up myself as possible teacher and went about doing the work. And Fun fact. Fun fact. The para that just got hired in my room, um, is leaving on Friday. It's her business, and I'm not going to share what's going on, but she will be back next year. But and I liked her. I'm being tested bigly. And it just baffles my mind. So today was not too bad. It was okay. Things we worked, got everything done. I had a fantastic sub. Um and now we'll see where the change in my life happens. I have to look at different avenues of exploring what goes on. I need to find where to get a CPR license that I have to pay for because my job doesn't pay for things that I need. It's always good to have. This is the first time in my life, from my working life, that I'm not CPR certified. The first time. This is like 20 something years that from the age of 14 all the way up to now, last year. So 41. I'm CPR certified. So I have to go figure out how to get that and how to get that paid for. Because money doesn't fall off the trees. Uh I mean, putting myself forward, I have the vending events that are coming a little easier into the lap. Um, I'm still looking for other opportunities. The ego wants security. The ego part of my brain, even though I dissolved a lot of my ego, it still has to function here. A lot of my ego has merged into a more mature adult. Uh, I don't know what it is that I'm not taken seriously. I'm not looked at seriously. Um, I don't get it. But I'm okay with that because I rather be young at heart and, let people figure that one out for themselves. See, I'm getting channeled. This has been me all day. Um, all day. Like just so many thoughts that are in my head and which ones are relevant and which ones gonna be safe for later. That's another problem I know many of you are probably going through. You're getting flooded with information and you don't know where to put it, place it, stack it, organize it in your mind. There's a lot. It's a lot. And you have your everyday mondoon tasks, you have your job, you have this, you have that you have to think about. And you can get lost into, okay, so what the hell was just that? Wow, that was a lot of intense energy that just came through my brain. I feel fried. But it's not spiritual burnout fried. It's I don't know where to put this energy fried. It's annoying. It's clearly very annoying. But please let me know if you're going through similar. And I kind of, when I was picking up the energy yesterday. And we're hi. We're spiking. Hello, we're spiking. We're spiking. We're spiking. Um, I'm so glad I'm gray. I'm so glad. I am. I'm so glad. I really had to look at that. That's been popping in my head a lot lately. Like I'm gray for a reason because life you shouldn't stress out about things you can't control, but they affect you and it still stresses you out. Because at the end of the day, some like for me, it's all physicality. Like I have to physically show up for myself each and every day. All of us do to an extent, but the energies are crazy. And how do we navigate that? I'm not doing well with navigating my changes right now because I don't know how they are appearing in my life. Um, I I'm sticking to what makes me happy. I'm sticking to things that obviously are starting to work out, but not. But I'm going to stick to it because eventually it might. But at what point do you give up to go do something else? These are the things that when you shift your energy, some things won't work out, but then that affects everything else in your life. Like, again, you have 3D obligations to obtain. It's not like, I have a sugar daddy and sugar daddy's giving me like 5 grand a month to live off of. Wouldn't that be great? But I don't have that situation. I live paycheck to paycheck. I scrap around for like ideas to grasp at because I don't want to just live paycheck to paycheck. I want to be able to save money at some point in my life and not and know that if I'm investing it and giving it away, that it's going to come back to me eventually. Um, that's another thing I was weighing out with myself last night, putting my boundaries up to certain scenarios because I no longer need to be taken advantage. My kindness gets taken advantage of. My willingness to help and jump on the help train. I love helping people. That makes me happy, but at my detriment. And that's something I had to realize. A lot of people were putting too much pressure on me to deliver messages and to do certain things. And it's like, no, no, I don't get paid for this. I do things out of the kindness of my heart, but 50,000 people I gotta do it for? Mm-mm. My lips are chapped. We're getting hit like really hard. I'm having that again. Like the energy's coming from my crown and I'm feeling it like here in the third eye. And then I'm like my feet are not even on the ground, but it doesn't matter. Like I'm feeling like the energy like flow up and it's like getting stuck. And it's not a blocked chakra. Uh-uh. And then I was propelled to pull Aristotle's metaphysics. Um, when I get this happened to me in college, actually. Something similar, not exactly the same. Because back then I wasn't aware that I was channeling. I was not aware of what the hell was going on. I was just, my dad's dying. I have to get through college somehow. Mom is driving me nuts. I don't feel good. And that, like, my rheumatoid arthritis, no one, it was undiagnosed. And I stopped dancing to see if that was what's causing my problems. And I was going to school every day and figuring life out. Um, what really started helping me was reading existential and metaphysics philosophy. Put things in perspective on the outside to get my brain out of my inner world, because you have to balance out in your thought processes. Like, we want to do introspection because we do need to do the inner healing. We need to do the inner work. We need to know thyself in all of its totality. You're never going to find that one out. I'm far along in the process, but nowhere near it. Um, you got to go inside a lot of the time, but you also have to balance that out and go in your outside world. Um, right now on Cosmic Mama, Woman of the Stars with Terry, I'm getting a big download. Um, they're talking about feng shui, and people who practice feng shui, they have a person on there interviewing, and it's on right now. I love you, Erica and Terry. They're going through, even if you're a feng shui and you implement feng shui in your life, if you're not using dowsing rods to figure out where the lines, the negation lines are in your house, I'm going to call it that. You know, we're this earth has lines, axial tonal lines, ley lines, geomagnetic lines. We have our fields of our toroidal heart portals and everything. You know, and these are things you can't see yet still exist, right? There are people, like I was saying to the speech therapist today, I'm like, if I could write a doctoral dissertation and actually produce evidence that the Schumann resonance is affecting children, because children don't have the vocabulary, the vernacular, or the scientific understanding at a young age to convey why they feel off, and that their body and their, you know, some of them are running around in circles, some of them are just climbing all over the place, some of them are more moody, some of them are not sleeping, and it's, yeah, children are a whole bag mix of fun, but the activity gets more heightened during these Schumann spikes, as it does for us, but more so for children. They can't tell you why they feel the way they feel. They don't understand how to convey that. Or, I'm frustrated, but what made you frustrated? I don't know. And then you have to sit there and pluck out all the scenarios the kid went through in the last 20 minutes that you saw. Oh, was it because Billy took your pencil 15 minutes ago? And now it's coming out that you're frustrated. Oh, that could be, right? We have to, like, ask the child, like, give them scenarios on why they could possibly be acting out. For us, you know, we could say, well, I'm frustrated because today I got found out that I'm going to be, again, just me and my teacher. That's going to suck. Or that, yeah, today's another windy and rainy day and my body's aching. That's frustrating. Right. I can verbalize why I'm frustrated. Kids really don't understand why they're frustrated. They just get frustrated unless they're cognizant enough to be in awareness. most of the kids are not, especially on the spectrum. So all this energy is coming in, and we're all trying to figure out how to deal with it in our own little unique ways. We're grounding. We're figuring out, like, oh, I have my heightened abilities. I'm seeing more things, but I can't put to words what I'm seeing. I don't know how to describe it. Like the feeling I had earlier, I feel betrayed, but it's not that word. It's a feeling that can't be put to words, but that's the closest thing I can describe it as. And I don't know in what facet, I don't know in what avenue that is coming from. I mean, in time, it might unfold, it may not. I just know that's the feeling I had yesterday, and it was very overwhelming in my system. Um, I mean, there are times that I can pick up energy that hasn't occurred yet because it's a timeline that I'm going to merge to. So we're already, my higher self is already there living that experience, but this body hasn't caught up to that energy just yet. And I get little inklings and entanglements of like what's to come. That's how people can prophesize. But am I jumping on that timeline? If I feel icky about it, I don't want to go there. If that makes sense. So when we're talking about timelines and time dilations and mergers and things of that nature, when I can pull, I as a kid, for example, I used to be able to tell people their relationships are not going to last no more than 6 months. And 6 months later, they're like, Allison, you, what do you know? And then 6 months later, how did you know that? I don't know. I'm just picking up what I'm feeling. Sorry, I want you to be happy. It's not because I don't want you to be happy and I'm jealous or envious. Like, no, I want you to be happy. But I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to work out. You know. And I think you see, I'm talking and spirit's dropping again. Okay. Yeah. This is what a lot of people are getting stuck on as well. The expectation of that destination. And then someone comes in and flings you in another direction. The mind wants things, sees things. You want it so bad, whether that be a person, to be with a person, you're projecting yourself onto another person. I see, this is big in my life. A lot of people for some reason read my energy, and I get a lot of emails and messages. I don't entertain much of those because I know where that's coming from. That's coming from the ego. And I don't see any of these people that email me bad, but there's a longing of a healing inside each person that messages me. Yes, I got coffee on my shirt. They long for something. And when they find the person that sparks a connection within themselves to do the inner healing, the inner work, a lot of projection starts happening. When you do that, stop needing to grasp for straws on the outside of yourself. The needs, the wants, the desires. You don't desire a specific person because you look at them and you get aroused. That's your lower animal self. Not that that's going away, but when you move up into your heart space, you want more out of a person than just that. Sexual arousal gets tired really quick. It gets old. Once you're already experienced it and tasted that forbidden fruit that you fantasize about for however long, once you experience it and you're not energetically matched, you're like, was that really worth renting space up in my head for all that time and projecting myself in a negative looking light on other people? There's a lot of people doing that right now. Understand that through the process of your abilities and through the process of going through yourself, again, I noticed that I'm going off in a million different directions, channeling. Spirit wants you to come up into your upper three chakras, to live up in your heart space more than anything else. That's the green ray. That's what we're merging into, is the green ray. We're getting out of our solar plexus. Bye-bye belly button. Going up to the heart. And when you live up in your heart, you still have your 3D body, you still have your 3D needs, you still have your wants, your desires, but they mature. And it's going through that process that sucks. It's getting rid of these old ways of being. And this is another part of the change that is happening for most people right now. And like I said, the astronomical alignments, the energies going on right now, it's hitting everybody differently. And it's hitting different sections of different people to purge differently. So don't compare yourself to anybody because we're all unique and having our own personal experience. There's commonalities within the astronomy, your birth sign, your chart, your natal chart, your this, your that. Does it, at the end of the day, matter if you know it or not? Not really. Because you feel the changes are coming. You feel shifts in your energy. You're seeing things not work or work in your life. And certain things, like for me, the job that I'm at now is a test, but it could present opportunities. So do I really want to scrap it for a bigger opportunity? Because no other door is opening up for me right now. I don't see any doors like even cracking, going, hey, hello, hello. I don't hear any of that. I don't hear a little peep, 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 peep. Come to me. It's not there. In the direction that I want to go in, do I really know if that's going to be an avenue of stay? I don't know. I want to be an art teacher. I've always wanted to be an art teacher. Will that actually occur? I don't know. But I have to put my best face forward and try. I love doing this. It's not making a living. It's a supplement. It's great. And I do thank everybody and I appreciate everybody that helps me out. Um, the stuff going on right now is super difficult. The energy is super difficult. What you're going through, what you're feeling. And if you're not feeling these things yet, just don't worry. It's you don't want to feel this shit. To be really squarely honest, this is not fun. It is a roller coaster ride. Like I kind of let go of the ego aspect of myself yesterday to say, well, I really gotta, like, if I'm not talking and I'm not making sense, why the hell am I doing this channel? I like questioned myself yesterday. And then the pros come in. Well, it makes me really happy. I love the people that are interacting with me. I love the support that I receive. I like how everybody else is healing each other and is sharing beautiful conversations. Even though I'm not really talking, people are conversing in chat and we're laughing and we're connecting. And I don't want to lose that kind of community because I feel a certain way in a moment. Obviously I'm not. I work too hard. But it's like, how do I redefine what I'm doing to make it work? Upgrades, upgrades. So obviously upstairs coming through me as we speak. It's always, but I'm aware. Um, if you get to that state like I got in yesterday where I can't even put words and thoughts together and I'm just like and being silly, but I'm being creative. I got a lot done yesterday, which I'm very happy because I have the events coming up and I hope to sell. I don't know, a sign is 20, a little sign is like 15, $20, depending what's in it. Um, like I hope that I'm making quality stuff that is gonna sell, or at least get somebody tickled fancy. This coffee's good and I really needed it. Um, this might not mean something, but hanging up on the wall that this might bring joy to somebody. This might inspire somebody somewhere, somehow. Um, that's kind of why I like to do my artwork. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, I still enjoy doing the process, the making process, the getting out of my way process. I don't, seriously, I don't really put my thoughts into what I do. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to create, and this is what's going to come out of my brain. Fantastic. I mean, I still can't get over how cute this guy is. He's adorable. Um, I mean, my thoughts, not really thinking, created this pyramid. What is your thoughts when you get out of your own way and you're not overthinking, you're not really, you're just doing? Stop and ask yourself, like, well, how do you actually feel in those moments? When I'm doing artwork, I'm really happy. I'm elated. When I'm reading books and I'm really getting into the book, I'm like, whoa. You guys if you watch my other videos, you see sometimes my excitement. Some books I'm not ever going to get excited about, but there are parts in books that I really do get excited. And you see the change of my disposition, you see my energy shift. That, but I'm cognizant in the moment when it's happening. That's a step to mastery that a lot of people are starting to gain, is knowing in the moment and being in the awareness of the here moment. Oh, I'm channeling. Or, oh, wait, I was thinking negatively. I gotta switch that. Yesterday, 47 did have a speech, and it's as I expected. Everybody puts too much stock, feeling, and emotional states into wanting something so bad. They're not being and going out and creating it for themselves. They're expecting something on the outside of themselves to create it for them. And it puts in a lot of strain on your mental, your immune system, your body system. You're thinking so much about outside of yourself shit that you want someone else to convey to you, and you want to be so right. You taste it. Oh, the biggest thing in the world is going to happen. And then it's decoded for you, and there's a million five different ways to perceive that decoding. And it's renting room up in your mind. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to think about these things and want them. Absolutely not. I want them too. But I don't see it happening the way everybody's expecting it to. There was a lot of like hype, and that's like a program in itself. That's a program within itself. The hype has been created a couple of years ago to connect dots and to go through the research. So we all find, most of us have found out, I'm not going to say all because not everybody follows the said movement or people that decode that movement. But we were challenged to go do a lot of digging, a lot of rabbit hole searching and going deeper. And a lot of fuckery and a lot of shit has been unfolded in our universe. All the wrongs, the rights, it, like I said, there is really no wrong. It's God's plan. So now you got it unfolded in front of you like a subatomic particle that you're now comprehensively looking at. And now it's showing itself to you because you're the observer and you're observing something. So the state of the particle changes. And you're like, oh, whoa, fucked up. Okay, great. And you're still waiting for disclosure. You're still waiting for somebody to open up their mouths when you already know the information within you. Oh, but the normies don't know. Is it their time to know? Are they ready for it? This consumes so many people. I don't let those things consume me. It's interest I take in. I like to look things up. I like to dig. Um, I think some things are relevant, but does it do anything for me to project onto one person or a group of people that they're going to be the saviors of the world and that we got to bow down to them and that maybe they're running this psyop that, and I'm playing devil's advocate for a reason. I need you to think outside of your paradigm. It's fanciful to say all these things and it's still not enacted. Okay, you already knew the money was stolen and fraudulently put in other hands. At what point was it stopped? Because we know at some point it was. And we're still waiting for a check that's a slap in the face. What is this teaching you? Elsa, how could you say that? That's my man. How could you say that? I put all my faith and stock into him. You should put faith and stock in yourself. He's a part of you. You're a part of the one. You have to put your power down and put your 2 feet down. This is what I've been doing and making change happen for myself. I just am not sitting idly by and not doing anything. Like I'm writing curriculum that takes a long time to do. On my free time, I'm literally looking up different artists and seeing how I can deconstruct their artwork to make it feasible for the kids to do. And with limited supplies at that. So I'm doing hours and hours and hours of stuff besides working a full-time job and doing this and reading books and doing all kinds of stuff. Like I'm looking at free online classes right now. There's a lot of things that I'm doing to try to better my life. It's not me sitting by on the couch with moldy popcorn, waiting for the movie to get to some sort of climax. The 5 movies that are playing at once. It's not even 3, it's more than that. Are you living your life? Are you striving for your best and not waiting for an outside stimulus to be your conduit of, oh, a permission slip for you to do something? Oh, we're going to have digital currency. We're going to have all this stuff. Okay. And once again, until it's implemented, it's just hearsay. People's put too much stock into things that other people project as if it's a real solid thing. There's a lot of manipulation going on too in the world, and I would be very cautious right now to not play into too much with systems and people and movements of any sort. Stop idolatrizing other people. If you really take the crux of what a WASP is, I know someone talks about that book once in a while and makes it like the Bible. It's not the Bible. It's not. But there's some good narratives and programs steered in that book that once you see it as a program and as a narrative, you can objectively read the book and start getting some goody grams out of it. And the goody grams out of that, like Teddy Grams, goody grams. Sorry, there's a lot of pain going through me right now. The goody grams is that they talk about the false gods. They're just tests of your faith. If you go and actually listen to my WASP or read the book for yourself, they're telling you in a way that there are false gods, that they come down and pretend to play in the WASP book Jehovah. That they're coming up with these great things, and all it is source's ego testing your ass. Life is a bunch of tests. Once you see them for what it is as a test, you become a little detached from the emotional states because oh shit, I'm being tested. It's still gonna be, you still have to go through the test, you still have to pass the test. But once you can acknowledge certain things are a test in your life and step into that empowerment to say, oh wait, I see this for what it is. I can't unnavigate it. I have to navigate through this. How do I go about the steps? And that God damn this fucking camera. That is the crux of what most of the spiritual people get frustrated with and get confused with. Once you can acknowledge certain things as a program, as a narrative, as a test, see how to navigate through the test, that is when you're like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, acknowledge test. Okay, this person's a test. Okay, this inconvenient thing happened in my life. This is a test. How do I navigate around it? And there's more tests to go navigating around before you even get to the first test and exam. It's like taking the SAT, but they're giving you five questions of math and then like 8 questions of literature reading and then like parts of speech, back to math, then to geometry, then to this, then to that. And you're like, wait, what? Not fun. Not fun. And it gets very confusing. So we're in that kind of energy right now, and the changes of figuring out how to navigate through the change, whatever changes are going on in your life, and how to succeed where many of us have failed before. And that's not just ending our personal ego self in this vehicle's energy. I know I'm clearing ancestral, 2 lines of ancestral energy so that I can heal the line in the ripple of the quanta. Like I came here to break all kind of curses, break all kind of cycles and all kinds of shit. I and now it's like figuring out, okay, is it this life I'm breaking or another life I'm breaking? Is it that one and that one? Does it matter? Not necessarily. But then I can detach feelings when I know it's not from this life and go, oh, okay, noted. Hi. Hi. That's the weather and why I feel the way I do. I who has sinus pressure, aches, headaches, or pains? If so, this may be a part of the issue. Sharp drops in barometric pressure are now ramping up into Wednesday morning for the Midwest to the Great Lakes. Rapid pressure changes have been linked to added sinus pressure, joint pain, and headaches, general discomfort that I'm going through currently right now. Ouch. Um, so currently it's 32 and earlier it was in the 50s. So yeah, that's a big drop really quick. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, Rama. For anybody who cares. um, we're still spiking right now in the Schumann resonance. Still spiking right here. Still spiking. Sorry, I had a pause there. And the time is now was going on, and I wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm going to read something to you. Aristotle's Metaphysics. Quote, art is born when out of many bits, B-I-T-S, of information. How the fuck did he know this? Derived from experience, there emerges a grasp of those similarities in view of which they are a unified whole. So you're meaning to tell me Mr. Aristotle knew about quantum bits of information, as if he knew this was a matrix, a simulated matrix, a hologram. What perplexes me about going back into work when my mind is stuck and I'm in that can't convey the words, can't mature the language just yet. What the fuck is going on? This just gives me perspective. How the hell did Aristotle know about the quantum? Did he know? Was he in awareness of it? Obviously, with that statement right there, Mr. I see numbers, Mr. Pythagoras, he might have been channeling his higher ended density self and thus spoke truth. I mean, a lot of his metaphysics is straight on. Here's another one. And I'm just going through, that was the book of Alpha. This is the book of Gamma. He does the brainwaves. Quote, for it is only the region of what is sensible round about ourselves that is continually in process of destruction and generation. But this is, so to speak, not even a small part of the whole, so that it would have been more just to acquit this small bit because of the whole than to condemn the whole because of the small bit. Wow. Just ponder that. Ponder this one. Quote, for all such questions arise because men demand a reason for everything. They seek to prove that they can reach ultimate principles, but their very actions prove that they are not convinced. I'm going to read that again. For all such questions arise because men demand a reason for everything. They seek to prove that they can reach ultimate principles, but their very actions prove that they are not convinced. So the what I've been channeling for the political stuff, we all know it's a fucking movie, but yeah, you're still playing along as if it's real. You're still feeding your energy as if it's real. We know it's fake. We know there's actors. We know they're playing parts. And yet you still suck into the rabbit following the carrot. Waste of energy, in my opinion. Fun to research, fun to look at, fun to watch at certain points. But again, where are you feeding your energy? If you know something is fake and you know it's just playing out for the funsies' sake, you're watching it, right? Like I watched a little bit of this speech yesterday. It's just funsies. I know it's fake. I know there's actors. I know they're all playing a role. So why am I so like Netflixed in with blinders on? I know it's fake. That's what that's saying. Like we don't know what the outcome looks like. But the outcome is determined by all of us in humanity. If we've all put our foot down and say, we're ascending today, hi, great. If everybody thought that, we would shift and merge to that higher timeline. We're all individually merging in different spots and different points, which is great. But you can't achieve something if only some people are doing it and not all, as in terms of the ascension, the moving up of consciousness. Where the higher beings, that's us working through us, is seeding the frequency to vibrate and to get everybody on board, at least into some resonance of logic. I know today, for example, one of the substitute teacher, I really like her. I'm very careful how I speak about politics at work because most people are on the opposite side of myself. And I'm really divine neutral when it comes to at the crux of it all. I see both sides. I live both sides. I had both sides of my house. So I can argue both ends really good. But like I was saying to her, I'm like, for everybody complaining, oh my God, my job and this and that. Okay, great. Oh, they're getting rid of this and they're getting rid of that. Oh my God, how evil. Okay, but if they get rid of something that is not providing its what it's actually there to provide, and people are skimming off the top or delegating the money somewhere else and then just hiding it, that they're using it for X, Y, and Z, and they're not being audited, not being held to account, then the services, most of the, I'm giving it to the education aspect, like the special ed is getting ripped apart because a lot of these kids get a lot of money that is not being, it's not given to that program or to that school or to the needs of that kid. There's a lot of unreasonableness, but a lot of money, and a lot of these towns, a lot of these corporations, a lot of these schools need to be audited. If you're really getting this federal funding for each said child, then where is it exactly going? And how is that money being exactly spent? And, you know, I hate to say this because I really like the school I'm at, but, asking for left-handed scissors shouldn't take 5 months. Getting materials to keep the room safe should be within a week. It shouldn't happen in months. So this is where's the money? Why is it not being allocated to where the kid is? What's going on? So yeah, things are being cut or stopped at the moment to be reevaluated because there is a lot of it's great. But look at life as that, right? I know this is a movie. Why am I feeding my energy in believing it's real when it's not? It's a play. It's playing out in the stage near you. I'm the star of my movie, and I'm not allowing anybody to take that star role. I'm not idly sitting by and allowing anybody else to play my role. Or just my scene hasn't come up yet. Your scene's always on. A lot of this and what's going on is theater. And we pour too much emphasis and energy into theater when we should be focused on real life and real life solutions and not waiting for the golden answer to come and decode. It's too complicated. Waiting, that's how they grab you. That's how, and again, I'm not here to take away anybody's thinking, but I want to be the adversary here for a moment. Humor me. The art of manipulation. So, thus said drops told you about the golden age and the Sarah and a bunch of other things that will help humanity. We all want that, right? We all want everybody to be prosperous and have abundance and everybody thriving. I want that for humanity, but everybody has to pitch in to do that work for themselves in order to achieve such things. Great. And then you're pouring your energy into a film, a theater, waiting each time or each deck clock or each this, grasping at, oh, what did he say? Let me decode it. And I'm not making fun of anybody that does this because obviously my best friend does this. But at what point does it run your life as for you living it? If we know it's fake, what is the program? Break down the analysis. The program is it's getting you to come back each week. It's sucking you in, that every time that man comes on, you're idolatrizing him. You're needing to hear every word at every timestamp, at every this and every that. And yeah, there are codes. I'm not saying he doesn't speak in it, but until physicality shows and presents itself, This is why I'm very unpopular with a lot of people, because I'm telling you the adversarial point of view. I'm not for the other side. I'm not for my side either. I'm in the middle. I'm for God's side. And for what I could see, we spend too much time focused on stuff that is outside of ourselves and is outside of our reach. Strive for something within your own reach. That if you want something on the outside of yourself, how do you get there? How do you obtain it? Not wishing on a star that somebody is going to drop $1 million in your lap. That's unfathomable. If you play the lottery every day, you have a higher odds of getting that. But even at that, what work are you putting in to creating the reality that you want? I know for myself, the frustrating part is I put work in every day and nothing sticks. Nothing is gelling. Nothing. I get a little bit, and this has been my whole life. I was in tattooing. I did Zumba. I was a dancer. I did so many things that never equated to anything sticking. When I mean stick is like career, I'm making money. I am like thriving. I never really thrived in a career. I've always done things that I passionately love, and I'm happy and okay with being just content, but I never thrived. You know, that that's that's where I think the emotional state that I was describing earlier, I think that's where it comes into, because what I'm saying is not easy to swallow. It's a truth that is not going to be seen or felt by all until until something spikes within your consciousness to see the adversarial viewpoint. It's not a negative viewpoint for wanting to do better for yourself and hoping that something on the outside is going to deliver that to you. It's a catalyst for you to change. It's a test from source. Are you just willy-nilly away at hope? And it's false hope. How many more years are you going to wait for the banking system to drop and to change? And when it does, you'll know about it. But until then, you still have to live and conduct your life as if. I have to conduct my life that everything being thrown in my direction as confusing and as like I don't know what to do. The change is here. It's starting to transform within myself in the way I direct my energy. It takes time to accumulate and to actuate my energy to that new change. It takes time. We're human. We're walking through this experience. It's a movie with a lot of plot twists, I can tell you that much. But I am not allowing other things to dictate how I feel. I am not wishing upon a star that someone that is in a movie is going to say the same thing I want them to say just for shits and giggles. The plot of the movie right now is they're trying to show people, which not many people are awake to this, that one side has fraudulently used funds that shouldn't have been going to certain places. They're directing it in a certain plot that most people are upset with because the brainwashing and the negative self-speak and the wavelengths of the lower vibratory state has been enmeshed in these people for decades, not just 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. The movement has got stronger over time, but where a lot of our tax dollars have been implicated and used in, is that even real? I could make a whole like inventory list and show you, oh, here, I'm proving it. No, proving what? Money laundering? Yeah, it exists. Instead of just coming out with the whole stone cold facts, it's not given detail. I don't like that. That's deception on my end. Ring-a-ding-ding alarm bells. Deception. Are you being deceived? Only time will tell. And it could be on both sides. If they have it all, I'm waiting. Divine timing is a bitch. It really truly is. It's a bitch. I know for myself, it's been the biggest son of a bitch. But I no longer worry about who's appearing on television, television, tuning into a program, because I'm out of the program. I unplugged emotionally, at least. I still like to dabble. I still like to look. I still get my feelies out there. I still like to actually conduct myself in society and not be a hermit and be in the middle of nowhere in the matrix, between the ones and the zeros. I still have to live a life. I still have to live in 3D and I have to participate in that, but I don't have to allow it to be my theme that I'm exploring anymore. I'm exploring myself and the connections as source, the connection to all things, and healing any of these feelings that are erupting up that I'm like, oh, where did that come from? Why do I feel that way? Oh, is it this life or is it a concurrent other life I'm trying to heal right now? That's also something to keep in mind. We're not just healing this physicality, we're healing other physicalities that are concurrently happening right now. And then like that feeling I was describing earlier, I can't put my like words to it, but I know how I felt and it didn't feel good. Was this from another lifetime? I don't know. Could very well be. Tapping into the unconscious is something that I've been trying to figure out how to program my unconscious to stop with the ego nonsense. Um, in many aspects, I feel very hurt in this life. Betrayed is another good way to say it. Not supported, and when I go about telling people, they get upset. And I'm like, well, you're really egotistical. You only talk about yourself. You claim you support, and I don't see it. I don't see you show up. And that's for people that I have helped out. That's for people that I was there for. And you're going to go through a lot of those people in your life. I unfortunately have gone through a whole book. It's finding the right people. And I know I found a lot of the right people through my channel. And it's going out and finding more people in your physical space. Um, and I think that's where a lot of us are yearning for. As I'm speaking and feeling through my emotional state, I think a lot more of us want to connect to somebody in person that's on the same wavelength. That I've seen what's going on in my eye, guys, and this is the eye that's bad. And that's not, is that my makeup? I don't, weird. It probably is my makeup. Um, I did a little different. I have like glitterly, glitterly glitter on the top and then the dark. I tried doing grays. No, Simba, we like you without makeup. No, I can't. I look more alive. We have to get out of stuck states of thinking. We have to get unstuck. Humanity is stuck. They acknowledge that certain things are programs, but they acknowledge other things aren't programs, but they are programs. People are getting stuck in narratives that they believe that are not narratives, but they are narratives. And it's up for you personally to perceive what is a narrative and what isn't a narrative. Um, Ashtiana Dean was the one that set me off on that path of understanding how things are delivered and the programming that is interlaced in it in frequency. She described like when she talks, she's giving off frequency. Her words and the way she says them is vibrating at a certain level that your ears are picking up and elevating you, where your ego is not in the way, so you really are feeling the frequency. As for listening to the movie and listening, your ego is in tune. Your personality with your ego is in tune, not your higher self. People are not steering in their higher selves. They're still steering in their 3D vehicle. Knowing thyself and going in your heart space, you will be able to feel the difference. It's all about feeling, feeling inside yourself, feeling what is right for you, but knowing there's a detached difference between your 3D personality and mind, when the way you think and the what steers you, and your higher self and your soul coming down and going, think about it. I'm something's with me, flowing through me. That's why I'm looking off to the side, because I don't want it to come in me, like take me over. I'm getting close to that state. See, that's my ability is like upgrading, and I'm like, okay, no, 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 no. Love you up there. And I it's Archangel Gabriel. And there's other two other entities that are working, merging with him, her, androgynous. So like my channeling is increasing. So if I start zoning out, know that it's Allison, but it's really them working through me. I think when more people can start accepting the spiritual truths, the laws of nature, feeling the energy that's flowing through them and identifying, even that's a human thing to identify and label, give things names, because it makes our mind have sense. it's easier to convey, it's easier for people to understand and understand. They're all collectives of things, just like we are a collective of things. Archangel Michael is a collective. Gabriel's a collective. The channel for the law of one is it's a social memory complex, they put it. We're all a part of those complexes, the social memory complexes. We're all a part of a one, but energetically tethered to bigger structures, to what's in our pie chart. We have to take in the bigger understanding that we're infinite, but there are bigger parts of things that make us personally up in our specific energy frequency. When we can acknowledge that everybody has a different thing that they're connected to, but when we work together, we will start forming our own complex and be more radiant light. We will become more of the photonic state, the light body. You'll be able to work more with your light body and project your light body. That's why some of us are able to handle that energy and others is still not. But I know more people are starting to experience foresight, meaning they could see a few things before it happens, or they have more of a intermingling of different densities that they're picking up on different vibratory states. So things are meshing. I don't know if you can see anything behind me. Like I have high density spirit with me. My face is really hot. A lot. Ooh! Okay, let's boggle minds. Aristotle. An indivisible quantity is called a unit. If it is indivisible in every dimension and is without position, it is called a point. If it is divisible in every dimension and has position, a line, if divisible, is a single dimension, a plane. If divisible in two dimensions, and a body, if quantitatively divisible, in all three dimensions. In reverse order, then, what is divisible in two dimensions is a plane, divisible in a single dimension, a line, divisible in quantity in no dimension, either a point or a unit, the unit being without position and the point having position. Wrap your mind around that. If you deconstruct a line in geometry, that's really where it's going. Quote, it is evident, then, from what has been said, that there is a primary being, eternal and unmovable, and separate from sensible things. It has also been shown that this primary being cannot have magnitude, but is without parts and indivisible. For the unmoved mover moves in unlimited time, and nothing limited has unlimited power. Since every magnitude is either unlimited or limited, the prime mover cannot have a limited magnitude for the reason given, and he cannot have an unlimited magnitude because there is no such thing as an unlimited magnitude. It has also been shown that the first mover cannot be moved and is unalterable, for all other movements are posterior to locomotion. It is clear then that these things are as they are. I love Aristotle. And this is all about metaphysics. Metaphysics is very, very complex. It's all about perception and the classical universe that we are all in. Let me read you the last lines of this book. These then are the consequences which follow, and even more might be brought together. But the many troubles which these men have with the generation of numbers and their inability to bring them together in any coherent way seem to indicate that mathematical entities are not separate from sensible things. Some would say, no, sorry, as some would have them be, and that they are not the first principles. Are we just a mathematical pattern and wave function in classical physics? Subatomic particles, the spin, the oscillation of each of every one of the cells that work in your body cohesively together. There's so much, if you really were to sit down and break life in your own body down, there is so much going on in a heartbeat. It's head exploding, but yet it still happens every moment that your heart beats. You have an electromagnetic field that picks up waves. When you connect with another person, you're exchanging energy, so your body is now implementing and filling in all those gaps. Every one of your cells is migrating in your body to a location to do a specific job. Your brain is the hive mind for your body. Your thoughts are being in-streamed and collected from the ether into your mind based on the theme that you're playing out in this body. My Wi-Fi is a bunch of codes whizzing in the air right now with ones and zeros entering my computer screen, into the computer, through the wires, into the copper, into the plastic, and you get to see me. Analyzing shit to think about. I think about these things because they exist in classical physics. You being the observer of your personal world, what do you observe? How can you change it? I know for myself, understanding the capacity of reality and how it works, I might never know all the answers, but I do know how I feel on a day-to-day basis. I know how the Schumann resonance is coming through me. I know the downloads and uploads, and I'm starting to like zone out and just talk. That's channeling. Just because you read something doesn't mean you're implementing it in your life. You have to feel. It's a big third dimensional it's feeling it, it's walking through it, it's experiencing it. This is why we all chose to be here. This is a very difficult school. This is very difficult. And many of us are the professors as we are the students, all in one, because we are at one with all things. It's just understanding the complexity of what that actually means and applying it and integrating it in your knowing. I know things to know things, Allison. Okay, but are you applying the things that you say when you say we're all one? Are you seeing that we are magnetically, that we have cords of entanglement, strings of entanglement to all things? That at any moment your energy is whizzing out in a torus field that is connecting with all things. Every time you interact with something, are you, I mean, do you really know if you're really touching it on a subatomic particle level? Are you aware of all the cells going on in your eye to get the picture that is mirrored back at you? There's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration to flow within the Zen. And it's up to you in order for you to do that sort of understanding work. I know we're all upgrading. There's a lot of energy going on. I'm trying to do my best to harness my energy the best way that I can, move through life the best way that I know how, and adapt and change what is no longer working for me. And a lot of the time, we don't know what that looks like, and it gets frustrating. I know for myself it is. I know there's going to be a lot of changes in the dynamics of people. There's going to be a lot of ego involved. And I know when it comes to how I've been feeling, I'm like, okay, is that my ego speaking or is that my soul speaking? Like I started asking myself the question of, is this ego or is this soul? Why do I feel this way? How do I go about making the change to feel better? Besides just doing life and striving every day. And I hope that you guys are asking those same questions of yourself. A lot of unknowns moving into the future of our linear space-time perception of it. We really have to hold ourselves accountable to what we think and the energy that we expend, to the energy that we intake. When you have a better understanding of what is actually occurring in reality and not just a movie playing out that we wrote and we already know the answers to those questions. We really do. You know, I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer the other day. My coffee's done. I really didn't want to be a Debbie Downer, but like, I'm being realistic. I don't see it. I don't see what everybody else is seeing. I'm being realistic and I'm not trying to knock anybody down. That's the world that you perceive, and that's beautiful. I'm using my logical brain, not my imagination, to think that tomorrow everything is going to shut down and my whole life is going to change. I don't see it like that. It's wishful thinking. But I rather actually create my reality by actually putting cause and effect and work with the 3D laws that we still have at tandem right now. We're moving to 4. all the parts are being played. We're playing the parts too. Don't take yourself out of the importance of what is happening. You just have to stop putting people up on podiums. We're all one. And I think that's what's missing out of the big ingredient in all of this is that you're taking all these people that are getting recognized on television as if they are the end all be all of your reality. And it's not really realistic to think that. You run your movie, you have to run your life. Your script is your script. You write it. Certain things are meant for us, they're going to fall into our laps. That's what I keep telling myself. Wishful thinking, but it's logical wishful thinking. Like, I want to become an art teacher, so how do I go about doing that? Will it actually happen and occur is another story. But if I put the work in, I have higher odds of obtaining that reality instead of just thinking that it's going to fall into my lap because someone handed it to me. That's not how, that's not how my reality works. Some people, yeah, people hand them jobs. Mommy knows somebody. Here's a job. I don't have those opportunities. Never have and never will. Wishful thinking. We're at a very interesting time in consciousness. We're all evolving. I know that I'm struggling with like adapting to the higher fluctuations of vibration. I'm trying to logically, which I shouldn't, um, distinguish what's being pulled through me. And the reason why is that, people are still not used to the people still in the good and evil paradigm. If something comes through me, that's why I'm controlling what, if I zone out, I'm really trying hard not to have thus said adversary come through just yet. He has come out just in my sleep. We all have powers, we all have abilities, and we have to adapt to those changes in energy. As we get used to something, you get the curveball or you get the shiv and you get the change because it is going to better you. It's going through that metamorphosis that's painful. And that's where a lot of us are at right now. And trying to make sense out of things that don't make sense to normal people or normal thinking people. And they're all of us. They're just other states of us. And we were chosen, our individual vehicles were chosen to take on this task. And that middle finger describes how I feel at times with my higher self and my oversoul. I just had coffee and I'm yawning. Sorry. I felt like I needed to come on and just like convey. Let's see, my tummy gross. I'm bloaty. To convey some of the things that I've been feeling and going through personally. I think I like to be transparent. Like, because I was not happy with how yesterday came out, even though I love my projects. Um, it it's weird. Why, like, I don't really rewatch myself, but I do tap in here and there to like skip around and see things. Um, I just wasn't overall happy with my delivery, the low viewing, stuff like that. And that stuff doesn't necessarily bother me. But source, my guides and all of them are like, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. It's okay. It's okay. But they nudge me and it like irritates me sometimes. So I don't know what the nudge really is just yet. And I hold myself highly accountable for everything, as we all should. And I'm not perfect, and I'm going to foul up here and there. And yesterday felt like a foul up. I let myself down because I love my project. I think they came out adorable, but like my brain was not in coherence yesterday. And I felt like I needed to come and do a video to explain what was going on with me. Besides the I want to do this so bad. Um, and no, I didn't. I got, thankfully the store had sales. Pain. Um, the store had some sales on makeup set, and I don't purchase expensive stuff. It's still annoying. I don't need pink eye every day. No more. I'm reading some of the chat going on right now, and the answers are within. They're all within. Someone has the need to know who killed JFK. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he's alive, if he's dead. What did he come in and teach? What was the learning? That's really the takeaway. If I died tomorrow, what did you learn from me? What did you take away? If someone faked my death, if I faked my death, or I got put into witness programs, at the end of the day, why it doesn't matter who took me out. It was a contract that I had made with somebody to do that. What did you learn from me? What did you take away? What was the essence of why you liked me or hated me or saw me the devil or saw me as the angel? We look too deep into things. We're stuck on things that really doesn't matter. What does that do in your everyday life? Why is that renting space in your mind instead of going within and developing yourself and understanding where you are in this world? And is the research that you're looking at accurate? Or is it just a perception projection from somebody? Being called. Hang on. Visions of Venus. Quote, how different this life had been. This time she had learned to love the physical world and learned that the polarities of Earth created a deep penetration of life so that one could identify and release old and hidden resistances. There's another one here. Quote, as the sun began to set, so did a major chapter in their lives. The old life must die and be released, like the old skin of a snake, so that the new one could become fully manifest. All that was known moved further and further away. As they turned to go into their cabin, they knew they were beginning a new adventure. Quote, there is a portion of us that is insecure and afraid. Your consciousness is now limited to that portion. You can expand your consciousness to encompass the portion that I am. How do I do that? I have tried and tried. You do not need to try to achieve that which has always been yours. All you need to do is to remember. This is a quote, you came to earth to clear the darkness and replace it with light. Explain the voice in the now radiant light. However, first you had to understand the nature of darkness. When you were on Venus, you lived in a state of unity and joy. Until you came to third dimensional Earth, you had not experienced separation from the oneness. When you experienced this separation, you felt fear, sadness, anger for the first time. In order for you to complete your mission on Earth, you must learn to understand and become master of these emotions. Then you can release the illusion of separation by remembering your true nature. If you can master your pain enough to release your darkness into my light, you can assist in releasing the darkness of the planet as well. Buy her book, Visions of Venus by Suzanne Lai. Truth, if I haven't said it myself. A beautiful book. Reconstructing Reality is the continuation of this story. It's a story, but it's so I totally read it. I think it's worth every penny. I think she's fantastic. I mean, if you really want to dive into very difficult concepts, Aristotle's Metaphysics, I read this 20 years ago. It's hard reads really changed my dynamic and my thinking. It makes me explore and go deeper, and it gets me out of my stale thinking. Or I'm stagnant and I'm going through chaos and I'm like, ow! And it kind of grounds me. Um, be good to yourself. Compassion and grace. I'm trying to exhibit that on my own. I don't like where I'm at in my life. I'm trying to make changes as best as possible each and every day. I'm catching myself and I'm trying to implement new and different ways of reacting and maturing my reactions and doing better for myself. And it's a process and it's not going to happen overnight. It's just not. And we're going to feel certain ways. And it's for us to learn how to expel it and get it out and vent. Can't keep everything in either. It's not healthy. So I hope that I connected to somebody today, that most of you are, I know there's like a bunch of you that are feeling it too, that you're just like at this stalemate, don't know what goes on, and you're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. We're in that transition and getting onto our paths. The work has already begun. We just have to connect to that timeline, and I don't know which one I'm jumping on. That's what's really getting me. But it's gonna be good regardless. I just have to keep working on it, and I hope all of you keep up the good work. I'm gonna go ground and sage and get myself back into tomb and into a state before I go to sleep. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulder. Be the lighthouse. Seed your truths. Friday, Scully Doodle is gonna have a new home. Make sure you check out my community tab for the raffle giveaway information. Remember, I only have one tier in my memberships right now, and all those members are going to get a free entry. So kudos to everybody that participates in that. And listen, I get it that there are people that cannot afford it. I know I can't on my own end. So I do want to thank everybody who supports me in that way, and I want to thank everybody who supports me, period. You are wanted, loved, and needed. We have to be here for each other. We have to be each other's lighthouses in the time of the darkness. We came here to transmute the shit, so let's get to it. And I shall be doing a reading tomorrow. I don't know in what. As I don't know how my day is going to go tomorrow. Fun. But until the next one, guys, I sincerely love you all. Hang on, I could do this. I really do. I love all of you. Thank you for your compassion and your understanding. We're all not perfect, and I'm still going through my metamorphosis. And many of you are too. So just stick with me, guys. And I hope that if when I was channeling, if you saw something, let me know. If you're seeing swirlies above my head, if you're seeing angelic presences, or you're seeing dark things behind me, please let me know. Love to hear it. Testing some of you out. No, I'm joking. But it's good to tap into that. So do it. So until the next one, guys, thank you for your support and your love. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye for now.